Andre, are you a Z guy?
Of course I am.
Of course you are. I thought you were a truck guy.
Well, I love Zs because they're small and fun.
All right. Well, we've got some news for you guys. Kind of breaking news. Last night, they unveiled the brand new 2024 Nissan Z Nismo. And in this video, we're going to talk about everything you need to know, including the fact that it has more power, chassis and aerodynamic tweaks, special styling touches that make the Nismo stand out from the standard Z. And of course, there's one thing that's missing that you might expect. But you know what? Who was there? Who? Our man Nathan was there at the unveiling of the new car.
Sweet.
So let's see what he thought of it when it first rolled out.
This isn't just a refresh. This isn't just an update in terms of wheels and tires. This is actually something that is a little bit deeper. And that means every component in this vehicle that can enhance its performance has been upgraded. I mean, every single component.
All right, first off, Andre, what's the 2024 Z Nismo all about?
Well, the Nismo is their highest performance model, right? So just like the 370Z before it and the GTR, the Nismo is the most hardcore version of the sports car. In this case, it's a 2024 model.
Yep, it looks more aggressive, gets stiffer chassis setup, bigger brakes, and more power. The new Z Nismo builds on the performance model, so you still get forged alloy wheels, mechanical limited slip diff, and creature comforts like a Bose audio system.
Yes, but we must talk about power.
Of course.
It's about power, power, power. So it still has a 3-liter twin turbocharged V6. The code for this engine is VR30DDTT. That's a long name.
Yeah, thank you, Zach, for writing that down, because there's no way we'd memorize that. All right, how much horsepower and torque?
420 horsepower and 384 pound-feet of torque, which is a healthy boost over where the standard car is.
Yeah, how much?
By 20 horsepower increase and a 34 foot-pound of torque increase, which is what, like 5% to 10%?
Yeah, it's good.
Increase.
Yeah, it's something you'll certainly feel. Now, in comparison, the 3-liter Toyota Supra gets 382 horsepower and 368 pound-foot of torque. Now, the engine sees cooling improvements, revised wastegate control, and an independent ignition spark tuning strategy used by the Nismo GTR, and also beefier oil cooler for longer track endurance. But there's a catch.
There's a catch.
There's
Why
a
does
catch.
there always have to be a catch?
What's the catch, Andre?
Well, there's no 6-speed manual transmission option. You can get it in the standard Z, right?
Right.
But the Z Nismo gets the 9-speed automatic transmission exclusively, so you're not going to be able to row your own gears.
Yeah, but Nissan says that they've enhanced it for faster shifting performance on the track. And that means revised clutch packs, engine management software, and cut down shift times by half.
And they also have Sport Plus mode, so that's very important. You know that manufacturers always do this. They have specific modes for these high-performance models, and it just improves the performance and the way the car shifts and the way the car feels.
Well, let's see what Nathan thought of the aero design.
They actually went and made it a little bit more slippery, but for the common observer, you may not notice it. Once again, the nose has a lot to do with that. The overall design of the front end has a completely different aerodynamic and cooling effect, but that does go along the sides as well. Those lower balances that go along the side skirts are built specifically for aerodynamic effect and not there just for looks. And the same go for those wheels, by the way. They are lighter and less rolling mass that you have as you're driving along. Well, you get more performance to the ground. Now, these Dunlop tires are very similar to the ones that are used on the GTR. As a matter of fact, the engineers say that there are several components inside the vehicle that are very similar, if not actually used by the GTR. So you could say, in effect, that this is sort of a baby GTR. Regardless, this is one of those vehicles that's going to be hard to get because there's only a limited number that are being built.
All right, Andre, how about aerodynamic upgrades?
Well, you have to have them because you're going faster.
Hopefully. Yes.
So restyled front fascia, the grand nose or the G-nose element as a throwback to the Nissan Fair Lady. So do you see a lot of classic Nissan Z cars here?
I do.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I do. Actually, ironically, Andre, I have not seen a new Z in the wild yet. So I don't know if they're having trouble building them.
Well, we've tested one.
Yes.
That was a long vehicle.
Yes.
Yeah. But so honeycomb mesh grille, the thinnest mesh of any Nissan production car. So they want as much air to flow through it as possible, right?
Okay.
For cooling.
And canards on each of the front corners. I like the fact that Zach wrote canards. I kind of know what a canard is.
It's a little like wing-looking element,
okay,
right?
Yeah, that's right. Formula One. I should know what a canard is.
The taller and wider spoiler than you get on the Z Performance model, and the three-piece design that extends onto the fenders as well. Reshaped rear bumper covers or corners, and redesigned side sills. So a little bit more pronounced. Almost looks wider, right? It's almost like just a beefier kind of a wide body look.
And to cap off all the aero upgrades, the Nismo gets a red accent all the way around the car just for a styling touch. By the way, what do you think of that kind of hero paint color, which I would call a dirty blue?
I love it, actually.
You like it? Okay.
So the roof is black.
Yes.
Most of the car is this blue, and then there's a red accent or kind of orangish accent running along the car. I think that's a very clever choice for the hero car.
All right, let's talk about chassis tweaks. What did they do to make the chassis more track ready, Andre?
Well, so there's additional underfloor braking
rigidity by 2.5%, according to Zach. They increased the rigidity.
Under the floor?
Yes, hopefully. Stiffer front and rear suspension bushings, stiffer rear rack mount bushings, and Nissan says it's made a comprehensive chassis tweak to make the Z the most track-worthy ever.
But you know what's, there's a but.
What's the but?
It's also the heaviest Z.
Ooh, that's not good.
So usually if you have a high-performance vehicle, you want to try to control the weight as much as possible. But this Z Nismo is, curb weight is 3,704 pounds, which is about 102 pounds over the performance model.
All right, well, that's because, Andre, you get bigger brakes and rotors and upgraded performance brake pads. 15-inch rotors in the front, 13.8-inch rotors in the rear. Nissan also fits wider tires, 19-inch Nismo-specific raised forged wheels.
Yes, and like you said, wider tires, so staggered setup, so 10-inch wide in the front, 10.5 inches in the rear, and these are Dunlop SP Sport Max GT 600 tires. I'm sure they've tested these endlessly.
All right, Nissan also gave it similar tires to what it uses for the GTR. The Z Performance gets Bridgestone Potenzas S007s instead.
Yeah, so you have a choice of tires.
Yep.
Now, interior, what about the inside?
Well, Andre, according to Zach here, it gets red and black Recaro seat finishes in leather and Alcantara, I can never say that word.
Alcantara?
Alcantara, thank you very much.
Okay.
And it looks much better. I mean, according to Nathan's video, it looks really good.
Yeah, so leather wrapped and Alcantara wrapped steering wheel as well.
Even you kind of.
Alcantara.
It's hard, isn't it?
It's a fancy material.
And you know what? I hate Alcantara on the steering wheel.
Is it just slippery?
Yeah, it gets. What happens is initially it's kind of fuzzy, and then if you use it a lot, it gets kind of matted down and it becomes kind of glossy and slippery. Exactly right.
Yeah, not great. There's an engine start-stop button and drive mode buttons in anodized red, so those red accents are coming into the inside. Instrument cluster flashes a red outline around the tachometer and the Nismo logo on startup, so you know you bought a special Z.
How about other small changes, Andre?
Well, first of all, we have 5 colors available on the Z Nismo. We have black diamond pearl, brilliant silver, passion red tricoat, Everest white pearl. So that looks like a good color selection.
Yep, and the rest of the Z lineup stays pretty much the same. No proto spec for 2024. That was the launch edition only. Performance and Nismo models get Amazon Alexa integration. And how much is it going to cost? We're guessing at this.
We don't know exactly, but we think maybe $60K.
Yeah, exactly. And with dealer markups?
Let's not talk about markups right now, okay? But when is it going to be available, Roman?
It's going to be available in the fall. You know, manufacturers hate to pin themselves down to exact time, so figure in the fall. Whatever that means.
So that would be like after late September in my mind?
Yeah.
Right? So October maybe, November?
Look, I love this car. I've owned, my dad and myself, I've owned 3 Zs at this point, maybe 4 Zs. So I'm a Z guy, kind of like you, through and through. But what worries me, Andre, is I'm not seeing any real new Zs. I mean, the Z, that's what they named it, not the 400, but the Z. I'm not seeing any in the wild, which worries me. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, maybe they need to go into production of the regular Z before they jump for the Nismo version.
Maybe we'll live in a non-Z
area. It
town.
could be. Yeah, it could be.
Because we see a lot of Ford Raptors and Rivians running.
But you don't think that there's some CU students here in Boulder from around the country that would be Z guys or gals?
Well, because they want to go through the canyons of the mountains, right?
Yeah.
So we'll have to see.
Anyway, I'm going to tell you this because my favorite car that I ever owned was a 300ZX Twin Turbo. I will always love that car, so I will always have a soft spot in my heart for the Z. Anyway, guys, as always, check out alltfl.com if you want to stay up to date on the latest, greatest, and newest in automotive, car, and, of course, truck news. Thank you. See you next time. Ciao.